Hello and good evening. Welcome to Harford Community College's first virtual dual enrollment orientation. My name is Evo Johnson, and I am the coordinator for the new student enrollment here at HCC. I wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and we hope that by the time this event's over, you would have learned something and learned a lot more fun stuff about HCC. So now what I'd like to do before we get started is introduce you to Kelly Otis. She is the Director for Admissions. Kelly?
Thank you, Evo. Welcome everyone to our first dual enrollment orientation and the first virtual one as well. As Evo said, my name is Kelly Otis and I'm the Director for Admissions. We have a full house today, so thank you all for joining us. We're really excited to go over a lot of good information with you. And we are definitely here as a resource. So if anything else comes up after the webinar, just let us know. We'll have some contact information for you. What I do want to point out is on the right-hand side of your screen, you should have a control panel. There is a questions area. So as we go through the presentation, if you have any questions that you want to ask us, we will have a Q&A towards the very end. So feel free to throw your questions in there and we will address them at the end of the presentation. So just to give you an idea of what we are going to cover today, our agenda is pretty jam-packed, I will say, which is a good thing. We're going to go over some key steps of dual enrollment, including some discount and waiver pieces if you qualify for those. We're going to go over a lot of the online learning pieces, like what is Blackboard, what is the participation going to look like, attendance, all kinds of great information. We're going to talk about the library and the Learning Center, which are some great resources for you. And then we're going to talk about transferring the grades back to your high school if you are looking to get high school credit for those. We're going to go over that as well. So I know it's only an hour and we have a lot to go over, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But again, remember, we do have that question area on the right-hand side in the control panel. So please feel free to throw in your questions when you have a chance and we will go ahead and address them. All right, Eva, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Kelly. All right. So like we said, we've got a lot of information to cover this evening. So hopefully you have a writing utensil and paper, a laptop, an iPad, a phone, stone and chisel, something to jot down all this information. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce to you our awesome panel for this evening. First up, I'd like to introduce Miss Miriam Wigglesworth. And if you guys could just introduce yourselves and tell us what you do.
Hi, my name is Miriam Wigglesworth. I'm an associate professor at Harford Community College. I've been here for about 10 years, and I've been involved in the dual enrollment program for about 7 years. Nice to meet everybody.
Awesome, thank you. Cynthia Lewis. Come on board.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Cindy Lewis. I'm also an associate professor in the business department, and I've been teaching at the college for about 8 years full-time now. And I don't know how many years I've been doing dual enrollment, but I enjoy every moment of it. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Let's welcome to the stage Deanna Smith, please.
Hi, everybody. Deanna Smith. I am a business teacher at Baylor High School. I've been there for about 6 years now. I facilitated the marketing class with Ms. Huddleston, and some of our other teachers at Baylor have worked with Ms. Lewis as well. So just really excited to be here tonight to watch you guys take that step from high school, from being in our classes into the college classes. So great to be with you tonight.
Awesome, thank you. I'd like to introduce Vicky Soto.
Hello, my name is Vicky Soto. I am the bursar at Harford Community College. I oversee the cashier's office, so my role with dual enrollment is basically just handling the discounts and waivers for all eligible students.
Excellent, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Alex Rogers.
Hello, hi, I'm Alex. I'm an admissions specialist, and I'm sure you've seen my name coming in and out through the emails. I'm a recruiter for North Harford High School and Pattersonville High School, and I've been also helping out with Aberdeen High School.
Excellent, fantastic. All right, onward and upward. So as Kelly mentioned, there is a section over to the right side for questions. And if you have any questions, burning questions during this whole process, feel free to jot them down, send them to us, and we will get them answered either during the sessions or during the Q&A in the latter part of this evening. In addition to that, we have several polls that we would like to ask throughout this session. So if you wouldn't mind answering some of those polls when we send them out, they're quick multiple choice answers, so we can really get a survey as to whom we're talking to out there. All right, so let's get started. So for the first part of this event, let's talk about the important key points about dual enrollment and the discount waiver process, and about establishing routines and concepts. So I'd like to invite Deanna Smith, Vicki Soto, and Alex Rogers.
Okay, hello. Well, if I could just start off by saying, I had stated before that I am a business teacher that has helped with the dual enrollment, but if there's any parents out there or guardians watching, I want to point out as well that I've been a parent on the other end of this too. I've got 2 daughters that went through dual enrollment and absolutely loved it. And I can't say enough positive things about it in the jump start that it gave them to start their college experience. So with that in light, it's kind of a big crossover. You know, you're thinking about your high school classes. We went online in the spring, and now we're going fully online in the fall. So the great thing is that it's not that big of a transition for you guys. You're already going to be online. So now you're just going to be taking the classes through HCC instead of through the high school. So we thank you, first of all, for making that mature decision to decide to do this. You very easily could have said, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna kick back and relax, but no, you've decided to take some credit courses and really jumpstart that. So great job. So basically the 3 steps that you probably have already completed at this point, and if you haven't, it's okay, you still got some time. The very first thing that you guys needed to do was to contact HCPS. You need to fill out the application for the waiver. All the information is on the slide here that we've got here in front of us. So if you want to take a screenshot or take a picture with your phone, all of this is on the HCPS website. If you go to students and then enrollment options, you'll log in with your school email information, pick dual enrollment, and from there, it's basically just filling out your name and information. So it's pretty easy. It's a pretty simple process. These then get sent to your counselor. The counselor then sends it to the principal for review. It then goes to central office. So it takes about a week or 2. They're probably trying to get these through a little bit faster because, you know, we're coming up on some things. So that's the very first thing that you need to know. Get that HCPS waiver. The second thing that you're going to do is say, hey, HCC, I'm on my way. So you're going to go into the Harford Community College website and you are going to apply for admission there. Basically, it's on their homepage. You can do it online. You can do paper copy. I would do online just because it's right in front of you and it'll get right there. And this is a pretty quick turnaround. What they're then going to do is once you're accepted, they're going to get you your login information, your H number, it's called. You're going to get a badge, have that taken. The third step is you are going to then tell Harford Community College what course you want to take. So if you know that you want to take, you know, whatever level math class or a marketing class or an English 101 or 102, whatever class it is you want to take, it's now time to do that. This is a really simple process as well, and it talks you through it on the website. It's great. It's a wonderful website. Finally, your last step is you then will take that approval paperwork that you received from HCPS in step 1. So you're going to have to log into your account again through student enrollment options, okay? Go in just like you did in step 1. get that letter. There's going to be a letter in there. It's going to say whether it was approved. Most likely it will be. So you're going to print that out, and you need to make sure you take that to the cashier's office, because they're the ones that will give you your tuition waiver. And you need to have a 2.4 GPA to get that waiver. So hopefully, you know, if you've done fairly well through your high school experience, you should be good to go. Do you want me to pass it over to Vicki for some information on the cost?
Sure.
I think it's a little further. Yep, there it is.
Okay. Yeah, so for the cost, basically a simple way of explaining it, and sometimes it's not so simple, but students get a 25% tuition discount from Harford Community College, and then Harford County Public Schools pays an additional 8%. So students end up getting a 33% tuition discount. So they're paying 67% of the tuition, is the simple way of explaining it. Students are then responsible for all of the consolidated fees, course fees, and textbooks. So the discount is on the tuition only. It's a 33% tuition discount. And that's on the first 4 courses that a student takes in their lifetime. After a student has surpassed 4 courses, it's going to be a 10% tuition discount. So the larger discount is on those first 4 courses. So that's the simplest way of explaining it. I do shy away from giving a flat explanation of tuition to students right up front. A lot of the times we always ask students' parents to contact our cashier's office to get that their specific tuition price, just because so many courses do have different course fees, direct access textbook fees. There's a lot of different things that can make up a specific course cost, but our cashier's office is always ready and available to break down your specific tuition for you, especially if you're taking 3, 4, 5 classes. It's definitely helpful to have someone walk you through it and break that down for you. So we never require students pay in full upfront, but when a student does register, they will see the full tuition amount assessed in their student account. That's just how it works. The tuition discount does not show up at the time that the student registers. So that's something that a lot of parents are confused about. They think that when, you know, their son or daughter registers, they're going to see the discounted tuition, and that's not the case. It's going to show the full tuition amount. And we say contact the cashier's office. We can give you the discounted amount, and then make sure that the classes aren't dropped for non-payment, since only a partial payment is being made. So that's the main points of the tuition discount. Deanna did mention bringing the verification form to the cashier's office. Now that we're working remotely, and since we have data sharing with HCPS, we don't require students to physically bring us that form now. We're able to see approved students through the online portal, but it is good for students and parents to have that copy of that verification form, the approval form, as backup, just in case something doesn't get through to us. We can always look at that as backup, because that definitely we will honor that if we aren't able to see the student's verification through data sharing. But since we're working remotely, students don't have to bring us any forms at this point.
Great.
Awesome. So we're going to go to the pros and cons now. Is that okay, Deanna, if you work on that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Actually, this being one of them, if I could just start with that, the 346 and some change. I mean, if you think about what the cost is of a 3 credit college course, you're talking probably $1,500 to $2,500. So this is a great price. It's a great way to decide, you know, where do I want to get started? If you want to take a class just to see if you like something, it's a really nice time that you could kind of look into some career exploration a little bit. Oh, I think I want to be a journalist, but I don't know. Maybe I want to try a marketing class. Maybe I want to try this math class. So it's just a really great price. and a great discount. And trust me, I've got a kid at a 4-year college and I know what those classes cost. Another pro is that you're taking online classes anyway. Like we're virtual. Why not give it a try? Instead of taking the high school class, why not take the online, get comfortable with it, get comfortable with the Blackboard. It's just a great opportunity to take it a step further, and you're always willing to learn new things, so take advantage of it. Something that I stress to my students a lot, and I think some might be out there, so if they are, hello. One thing that I like to stress to them is you have us to help you. You have your high school teachers that are on hand that can help. Like, hey, you know what? When we did that one unit before, can we go back to that? Can you go over that a little bit more? And we can kind of help out a little bit. So you're not completely on your own yet. This is like a 50-50 shot. You've got us still. You're being independent. It's like a 50-50. You're not out on campus yet. You're not thrown out to, be on your own yet. So this is just a really, really great independent step for you to take. The cons, sometimes people say, oh, I just want to relax. I want to enjoy my senior year. You're taking the classes anyway, may as well get college credit for them because you're going to have to take the online ones for high school anyway. The financial, some of you might even say, oh, that $346 is really kind of pricey. Maybe there's different things that you can work out with family members. You can ask for early Christmas gifts of money, things like that. And they do have a payment plan too, I believe. I don't want to misspeak on the payment plan.
That's your correct. Students can sign up for a payment plan as long as they have a minimum balance of $300, which one free credit course would meet that threshold.
Fabulous.
Welcome to the payment plan. Yep.
Fabulous. So, once again, this is the biggest pro is why not? Why not go for it? Like, put yourself out there. You're 17, 18 years old. You're ready to press go. You're ready to get jump started. You're ready to be adults in so many other areas. So do this. Why not? Anything else? Trying to think.
I think you covered all of these on the screen, correct?
I think I did.
All right.
I think so. Oh yeah, and I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but you have college credit and you have dual enrollment. So college credit is if you're just, let's say you're taking your 4 core classes at high school and you're like, hey, I want to try, I can't even think of a class now. Somebody give me a class, an elective.
Part 121.
I'd say marketing, but I can't keep saying marketing because it's like I'm pushing my program. But let's say journalism, okay? And it's not, let's say it's not tying into one of your high school classes, and you just want to take it just to see if you like it. So you're not taking it for dual enrollment because it's not matching up to a high school class, but you're taking it to just kind of, experiment and kind of feel it out a little bit. So that's when it would be called a credit class only. Your dual enrollment is when your class that you're taking in college is directly related to the graduation requirement for your class in high school. So I know a lot of you have talked about taking the English. I think there's 2 English classes that matches the English 4. So you'll take the one in the fall, one in the spring. Take both of those, you get 6 credits in college. I mean, that's fabulous. 6 credits in college, that's incredible. For what, $650, $700, where you'll be paying, a lot more than that at a 4-year. And you're getting your graduation requirement as well. So it totally ties over for you. Totally makes sense.
Awesome. So before we move on to Miriam, I'd like to do our first poll. So I want to know how many juniors and seniors are out there. So if you guys could respond to this, that would be awesome. Launching it now.
Ooh.
We'll give it a couple of seconds.
Who has the fastest finger? Hmm.
All right. 5 more seconds. All right, fantastic. It looks like we have about 91% seniors and 9% juniors. Very cool.
Wow.
All right, awesome. So let's move on. So I would like to introduce Ms. Miriam Wigglesworth to head the table to talk about Blackboard, the syllabus, and textbooks. Miriam.
All right, good evening. So I'm going to talk to you about some of the things that once you get enrolled and go through the whole process, like Deanna Smith just described, you'll need to consider once you get into that college class, what to expect. The first thing is Blackboard. Blackboard is our learning management system. So if you're in HCPS, think about it as the equivalent of It's Learning and the Home Access Center combined. So Blackboard's all in one. You can find course information, syllabus, and you'll be able to see grades as well. So it's a really useful learning management system. Your children are, I guess high school students will find out soon enough that most colleges, 2-year, 4-year institutions, they all use some type of learning management system. Blackboard is just one of those options. The other thing I want to point out is that Blackboard has a free app. So if you're using some type of Android or Apple device, you can download the free app. And in that app, you can get a lot of information. You can see all the classes that you're registered for. You can see grades. You can see announcements posted by the instructor, as well as receive alerts when the instructor posts something. It's a super useful tool. I would strongly encourage you to use the app. It's free. I'm taking some classes right now, and I've actually downloaded the app on my phone because I just find it so useful. So I definitely recommend considering that. Next thing is the course syllabus and a timeline for classes. This semester, the timeline's a little different. I believe most of the dual enrollment classes are about 13 weeks because HCPS does not start until after Labor Day. So that's a little bit different. In the spring, you'll notice that most of the classes are 15 weeks. Most instructors have a very detailed syllabus. We're required to post this syllabus on Blackboard. And that's something that you'll want to print out or save to your own personal device because you need to use that as a reference tool for due dates, for information, for instructor policies. It's so useful. Some students may find that they have Blackboard app, they have the syllabus, they're good to go. Other students may find that they want to transfer some of the information from the syllabus, like the contact information for the instructor or the course schedule to their own personal either print calendar or e-calendar and use that information going forward to remind them of test dates or due dates for projects or assignments. But either way, all that information is contained in the syllabus and will be posted in Blackboard for every class you take at the community college. One thing I want to point out, and I think I mentioned I've been teaching these dual enrollment classes forever. I feel like forever, it's been about 7 years, but it's so important that you stay on top of the work. What I have noticed, and maybe Ms. Lewis can attest to this, is those students who fall more than a week behind generally never catch up. It's very hard to catch up on the reading, discussions, assignments, and then get up to date, so maybe cover 2 chapters worth of information in 1 week. It's very challenging. So that's where that course syllabus comes into play. You really need to use it and the course schedule to keep you on track. It's very beneficial. The last piece I want to talk about are the textbooks. So students who are taking business classes, and only business classes right now at HCC, have what's called direct access. Meaning, for example, if you're taking accounting, introduction to business, or marketing, the cost of your textbook is included in your tuition and fees. This is something that the business area is testing. So when you pay your tuition and fees for that class, you will have access then to all the online content provided by the publisher and an ebook. And at that point, if you want to like purchase in, I guess, a printed loose leaf copy, you certainly can, but that would be over and above what's provided to you. For all students taking non-business classes, you will have to purchase your textbook, depending on what the instructor uses, but you'll need to go to the college store link through hartford.edu through the website to get that information. Because some instructors, you may be taking English, but maybe instructors use different books or different textbooks or online materials than others. So you just need to make sure that you're looking for the correct information. So that is just one difference I want to point out. I think that's all that I wanted to touch on. Reference Blackboard, syllabus, and textbooks. Certainly, if you have any questions, please type them in and we'll try to come back and address them at the end of the session.
Okay.
Excellent. Cindy, really quickly, I think what I'll do really quick, if you don't mind, is doing a quick poll.
Yep.
If everyone's okay with that. So
Yeah, go for it.
my next poll is, what dually enrolled course are you currently enrolled in? So here we go. I want to know who's out there. I'm launching now. We'll give it a few seconds. English is winning.
Oh,
Oh, come on.
I kind of figured. The word about English got out in the late spring.
That's right. All right, so we have 56% English, 17% business, 5% history, 19% math, and 39% other. I'd be curious to find out what those others are.
Oh.
All right, awesome.
Accounting is business.
Accounting is business. That's correct. All right. All right, Cindy, take it away, dear.
All right. Hi again, everybody. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about communication, talk about attendance, a little bit about tests and quizzes. First of all, with communication, that's so important. Communication is a vital part between you and your professor in your class syllabus, and you're going to hear us talk about that syllabus a lot tonight. And that, again, that syllabus is very important for you to read. And I know they're long. When you get yours, you're going to say, my goodness, this is 8 pages long or more. You need to take the time and read it because it's your lifeline for the next couple months. And in that syllabus, your professor is going to let you know how to communicate. And most likely it's going to be through emails. But know that when you communicate with your professor through email, make sure you are communicating through your ALNet account. Okay, make sure you always send your professor an email through your ALNet, your ALMail account with HTC. Check your emails every day. Okay, that's very important because your professor may contact you. There's always within Blackboard, they'll probably have some announcements posted, and of course, all of your lifeline, as I say, is in Blackboard for your course. But also, a professor may send out something with a last-minute change in the syllabus, or something, some kind of special announcement. So that's why it's important to log into not your personal emails, but your HCC emails every day to check. When it talks about attendance and participation, attendance, obviously, we're all virtual. So attendance is logging into Blackboard. We can see who's been in there, who hasn't, how long you were in there, that kind of thing. So make sure you're logging on, and that's, attending and doing your work, participating. If your class talks about having discussions, then take part in it. If you're supposed to be reading your textbook, doing homework problems and writing papers, all of that, it, goes down into, attending and participating in the class and getting your work done on time. You really have to stick to your deadlines. If there are issues, you need to keep and communicate with your professor in reference to a deadline or any question that you have. Going again back to the syllabus, you will notice probably on page 1, where your professor has listed something called office hours or student hours. Those are typically time set aside for your professor that they're available for questions. So if you have any, questions, concerns, you can't go into their office on campus anymore for this semester because of everyone being virtual, but they will probably set up a Teams or Skype meeting with you to help you and talk with you about whatever your concern or problems are. So again, communication is very big, very big. Let's see here. And then going back to just, again, Professor Wigglesworth and myself can't stress enough, read your syllabus and participate in the class and always communicate with your instructor. I think that's about it. Did I cover?
Would you suggest a planner that is separate from their high school, or should they keep it all on one? What would you recommend?
I think that's going to revolve around the student and what best helps them and guides them with keeping track of their due dates. Putting it all in one planner or having a high school planner versus a college planner, I think that's going to be an individual decision there, but they definitely need, I would recommend something to keep them straight with all the deadlines and so forth.
Yes.
Good point. I do see one question, and hopefully Vicki can come on board and answer this. The one question was, does the discount count for college credit classes only?
Well, the discount applies to any student that's approved through the HCPS student enrollment options, dual enrollment. Any student who's approved, whatever courses they register for here, we apply that discount to. So I've never discriminated against whether it was a remedial course, I guess maybe is what the question is, like something below a 100 level, if that's what the question is.
I think the question was if they were thinking about taking a non-credit course.
Okay, so it would not apply to non-credit courses.
Yes.
They have to be credit courses. Now, those courses can be remedial, like whatever, math, whatever is not college level. I don't know, but it doesn't have to be college credit level. It could be a remedial course, but yes, it has to be something on the credit side, not like a non-credit type of hobby course.
Excellent.
I hope that answers the question.
Nope, that's totally right. Good answer. Thank you. Let's go ahead and do one more poll, if you guys don't mind. The question is, will you use these classes to meet your high school requirements, graduation requirements? Ready and go. We'll give that a couple minutes or seconds, not minutes. All right. It looks like 65% say yes, 35 say no. All right. Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, I'd like Alex Rogers to step up to the plate to give us some info about the library and our learning services, our learning center, and FERPA.
Awesome.
Alex.
Thank you. So I'm going to cover those topics, and there's also some items that I'm going to cover that were mentioned in this presentation, and just a little bit of nuanced information that I think will help you in the process and understanding what's going on. So let me just start with the library. They are offering workstations, computer workstations, study tables on campus in the library. However, it is by reservation only. And to do so, you would go to hartford.edu. And then on the left-hand side, you'll see some buttons that you can hover your mouse over. And so you want to hover over academic resources and then click library. You will see their link for the reservation, as well as a way to text them, call them, email them. The library actually also has their own tab within Owlnet, same setting up a chat if you'd like with the librarian. So I'd strongly encourage that. And also just to note that within the library tab, there are the access to your database. So that would be very important for your papers. If you were to do a reservation on campus, if you were to go in to use their computer, for example, there are some processes that you have to complete because of the coronavirus. So the first thing is you make the reservation at the library. The second is that there is a questionnaire that you have to complete the same day that you're supposed to be on campus. To access this questionnaire, you go to www.harvard.edu/coronavirus, and then you'll see a link for it. It's a really quick survey. Then from there, when you're ready, you will show up to campus and you will have to go to one of the following buildings. I have it written down, so hold on for me. The Aberdeen Building, Darlington Hall, Edgewood Hall, Joppa Hall. And there you will get your temperature checked. They will make sure that your mask is functional. They will make sure that you have a reservation. You will need to know your Harvard ID number. If you do not know your Harvard ID number, please feel free to email admissions with that request. We prefer, as it's been mentioned, that you email us from OwlMail. So that we can confirm your identity. If you don't have access to your OwlMail account for whatever reason, when you email us, please use your full legal name and date of birth so that we can confirm your identity before moving forward. So going back to the process being on campus, so you'll need your mask, your Harvard ID number, and they'll make sure your temperature's good. Then they will give you a wristband. That wristband is only good for that day. And then you can go to the building that you reserved a space for, but you can only go into that building. It's not that you have access to the entire campus. And so that reservation is only good for that one time around. You would have to repeat that process if you hadn't, you want to go back to the library next week. With that being said, the Learning Center is not doing tutoring with on campus, but they are doing remote tutoring. And so to access that and create a reservation, you go to harvard.edu and then again hover over the left-hand side of options. And this time you want to hover over student support, and then you want to click on the Learning Center. And from there, you'll see a link to go ahead and complete the reservation. So moving forward, FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. I'm sure anyone who's interacted with admissions has heard of this. And basically, it's an act that protects the student, even if they're under the age of 18, from anyone speaking or asking questions on their behalf. And so if you wanted your legal guardian to ask questions on your behalf, you would have to complete the disclosure of information form, which is available on our website, or again, you can reach out to admissions. We're happy to send it to you. And then you have to email it from OwlMail to Registration and Records. Their email is registration@harvard.edu. This is the only way we can accept it. You can't send it to me and then I can forward it to R&R. It has to be from your OwlMail account to Registration and Records. So that's for parents, but there's another piece to this, and it's really important. And this is for students who are taking classes at the college and are intending to transfer them back to the high school for graduation. So this rule also applies to your guidance counselors. You will need to, you have two options really, and I would make sure you stay in touch with your guidance counselor about this. But you can either fill out a disclosure of information form for your guidance counselor or for HCPS in general. And submit that to Registration Records. Or if you sign into OwlNet and then click the My Academic Life, and then on the left-hand side, there's actually View Print My Unofficial Transcript. You could also request an official transcript, but I don't think that HCPS is requiring official transcripts. As long as they have access to prove the grades basically through the professor or through an unofficial transcript, they can go ahead and accept it. So you just want to make sure you don't leave that to the last minute. You want to graduate on time. So trying to throw that out there right in the front of the process. So there are a couple other items, and this is going to seem kind of all over the place, but just bear with me. So the applying online to HCC is completely separate than applying to be a dual enrolled student. You can apply at harvard.edu/apply now. When you create the online application and you're filling it out, and I want to emphasize this very strongly. Please make sure you get to the web page that says signature page. Once you get to the web page that says signature page, and it's in really big letters, then you know you've successfully completed and submitted the online application. We have had several students who think they've completed it and then they didn't, and of course application didn't get processed, and so then they were slowed down. So just make sure you get to signature page to guarantee that you've submitted your application. Another item that came up was your student ID. So when you apply to HCC, you will receive a Harvard ID number. This is your unique identification number for Harvard, for your transcripts, for any types of access to confidential information. Typically, students would be required to get a photo ID in which their H number is stamped right across it. And that's the card they use to sign into different departments. But with our campus being closed, that is not required at this time. We will circle back to that once we know when the campus will be truly opened. But that HID, since you don't have the student physical ID to refer to your H number, again, that's where you can contact admissions to request your Harvard ID number so that you have that for future reference. Whether you're filling out a credit registration form or if you're filling out the disclosure of information form or speaking with financial aid, you will need that Harvard ID number. So just make sure you understand Harvard ID versus a physical picture ID with the number on it. Also, when you're speaking with admissions, Deanna absolutely made it perfectly clear on what's the difference between credit only and dual enrollment, and that's extremely important in terms of communicating. I just want to let you know on our end as HCC, speaking with admissions, if we were to ask you, are you a new student or a dual enrolled student? What we're asking is, are you taking classes as just a college student, or are you taking classes at the college while you're still in high school? So a dual enrolled course means that you're taking that class and you're transferring it back to high school for graduation. A dual enrolled student is more broadly, at least on HCC ends, is more of you're in high school and in college at the same time. So just want to clarify that real quick. Another item, and this might be going too far, but it's just something that has come up a lot in my experience with students. When you're looking at your classes and you're trying to figure out what am I currently registered for right now, I want to point out a couple things. If you're in your ALNet account and you click on the My Courses tab and you do not see your classes, do not freak out. Those courses usually appear about when the semester starts. And so what you really want to do is click My Academic Life. And then on the left-hand side, there's a link called View Print My Schedule. You select the semester that you're interested in looking at, fall 2020. If you see your classes, then you're good to go. If you don't, you're in trouble, and please contact admissions and we'll figure out what's going on. If you're registered for your classes, at the bottom of that schedule, there's actually a link, and that's for the book lists that required for your classes. When you click on that link, there are books that are required, and it's usually in red. There are books that are optional. It's usually in green. There are also books that you can rent or buy. You can have digital books or you can have paper books. There's a lot of options going on. So really want to focus in on the required piece. You do not need to go through us to get these books. If you find a book somewhere else, some other website that's cheaper or whatever it might be, go for it. I just want to emphasize that you need to get the same edition book. If you don't get the same edition book, then the course assignments are not going to line up and you're going to find yourself in a not good place later. With that being said, it was mentioned about the bookstore. They are open. You can do curbside pickup by appointment only. So I just want to make sure you're clear on that. And when you're doing curbside pickup, as long as they're still operating out of the bookstore, which I can't imagine they're not, they are in the student center. So in terms of just trying to, if you're looking at our campus map, trying to figure out where you're going, it's the student center is what you're looking for.
And if I could jump in really quick, Alex, that was a great process. We just did that with my daughter. We had to do curbside, and it was so easy, so easy. So I just wanted to point that out.
I have not done it, so I'm glad that we have some live reviews.
There you go. There you go.
So the last thing that, at least at this moment, that I'm going to cover, there's a lot of nuanced information within admissions, so try not to drown on, but there's been some misunderstandings for a process. So for the classes that are HCC classes that are happening at HCPS, so I'm putting that in quotes, they were supposed to happen at HCPS. Those classes have an extra step. And so those students should have received, as long as they're registered for the course, should have received an email from my director, Kelly Otis, to their OwlMail account. And in that email, there's a credit registration form that the student needs to fill out and send in directly back to Kelly Otis from their OwlMail account. And there's also the disclosure of information form that I had mentioned before. And that is automatically the persons to receive the information line is already filled in with HCPS. And so the student needs to fill out the rest of that form and also send that back to Kelly Otis. For those classes, specifically, again, the classes that are happening at HCPS, the due date is August 31st. I want to also let students know now, so that no one freaks out, that these classes are specifically reserved for you. So if you're, let's say, for whatever reason, you're not able to pay between the moment you get Kelly's email and August 31st, either let Kelly or contact myself or admissions to let us know, and we'll get you re-registered, and then you have 10 additional calendar days. But those classes are for you. So just want to kind of calm those nerves a little bit, and not to freak you out, but on the same coin, the other side of the coin here, for students who are taking classes at the college that are not reserved for HCPS, they're just, I'm taking Sociology 101 because I want to get started with my degree. As far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong here, the professors do not know that you are still in high school. You are treated just like any other college student. And so just keeping that out and keeping that in the front of your mind, that, you know, your guidance counselor will not be able to help you with that. You won't have a high school designated teacher. You are really working directly with the professor and your classmates. And so just really approaching that with that mindset and knowledge. So that's all I've got for now.
That's a great point. If I could add on to that really, really quickly, and please let me know if I'm wrong or if I misspeak, Alex. But part of that FERPA with the privacy with, you know, parents and students, if you are dually enrolled and let's say that it's one of my classes, it is my responsibility as your HCPS teacher to, you know, contact your parents to let you know, hey, you know, they're not doing so well, because it's affecting your graduation requirement. So we are required to do that. So I wanted to make that clear as well. I don't want people think, and I don't think for the college credit, absolutely not, but the dual enrolled, it is our responsibility as HCPS teachers to keep that communication going with your parents.
Awesome. Wow, that's great information from everyone. I'm overloaded myself. All right, I have another poll. Yay! All right, my next poll. Are you planning to attend HCC after you graduate? I need to know. Ready, go. And then after this poll, we'll go on into our question and answer segment, I think. We'll give it a few seconds.
Evo, just really quick,
Yes.
how many bachelor programs does HCC offer through the TUNE program? Because a lot of students might not be aware of that they can get a 4-year degree right on HCC's campus.
Yes, that is called the TUNE. It's Towson University at Northeastern. It is our partnership that we've had with Towson for about 7 years now, where we offer a 2+2 scenario. Literally, a student can get their 2-year AA degree at Harvard and walk across the street to the Towson building to get their bachelor's degree. Now, they only offer 9 or so programs, and help me out with them, Alex, because I've lost contact or thought on what they are. There is
business,
Business
psychology,
administration, yeah.
childhood
Education,
and
elementary and special ed.
Correct. That's
psych
fine.
business.
I've lost. All right. So as far as the poll goes, 23% say yes, 28% say maybe, and 49% say no. All right, good. So that
You might
actually,
change your mind.
of course, after this, how could you not? This actually concludes the presentation part of our presentation. We're kind of going to move into the question and answer session. And I have a couple of questions here that I'm just going to ask them, and whoever wants to answer them, just hop right on in. First question I see is, does the grade in the class affect our high school GPA?
The way that I was taught to do it was whatever grade you receive in your college course is the grade that you receive for your high school class.
And I will say, because I've worked with Mrs. Smith at Bel Air, but also at North Hartford, C. Milton, Patterson Mill, all the other schools work exactly the same way. If you are taking this class at HCC for dual credit, meaning you're receiving credit at the college and credit at the high school, that grade does go back to the high school and it would impact your GPA then.
And it is not weighted. So that might be something that you were wondering too. It's not a weighted course.
And also that, just so you know, at a college level for transcripts or being able to access the next level class, a C or better is passing at the college level.
Thank you. I forgot about that.
Next question is, and this may have already been stated. Hold on, I just lost it that quickly. All right. Where can I access my syllabus? I don't know if that was discussed. I was in and out. Where can I access my syllabus?
That's going to be inside your Blackboard course.
As of tomorrow, right? Blackboard opens for students tomorrow. So most of your professors will have it posted. If not, they'll definitely probably have it posted by next Monday. That's when most of our classes at HCC start, except for our dually enrolled classes that don't start until after Labor Day.
Excellent. What is a new student advising hold?
That's a good one.
I will jump onto that one. So a new student advising hold is a hold that prevents a student from registering until they've either checked in with an admissions representative to have their schedule approved, if they're a student who's still in high school. And please note that if you then decide to be a freshman with us after you graduate high school, you will still have that hold. And that will force you to first meet with an academic advisor. And with your academic advisor, you will create your schedule and register at that point. As long as you keep decent grades after your first semester with us as a freshman, that hold will be permanently removed.
Awesome. Next question is, are classes every day?
I'll jump in on this one. So it depends. Now this semester is an exception, right? Because most often our classes on campus are either 2 days a week, face-to-face, like maybe once a week, face-to-face. You could choose 100% online, which most of our dually enrolled students, when we're all in session, are online, right? As an instructor, we post things, we communicate with you via email. We might come to your high school a couple times, we may not, and that's it. You're really working to self-teach go through the material, ask your instructor questions, but the responsibilities on the student. And then the hybrid. Hybrid is where maybe you meet half the time face-to-face and half the time online. Every instructor is a little different. However, in today's world, you probably are meeting online, virtual classes, once or twice a week using Teams or Zoom or GoToMeeting, or you're 100% online. And that really depends on your instructor. Cindy, you want to add anything to that?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right. Excellent. I have another question here. This one might be for Vicky. if we paid full price on accident, can we get a refund after submitting the waiver?
No, I keep it all.
Good answer.
Making sure everyone's still paying attention. No, a lot of parents and students will, they'll just register and see the full amount due and just pay it without thought. We do apply the waivers after the start of classes, after the add drop period or the 100% refund deadline, we sometimes refer to it as, which is in early September. That's when students have finalized their schedules. At that point, we go in and say, okay, the students got all their classes chosen, their schedules finalized. We go in and apply the appropriate waiver amounts and we refund students automatically. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask for your refund. If you do go ahead and pay the whole thing and the next day you go, oh, no, I shouldn't have paid that. I get a discount. Call our cashier's office, send an email. We can go ahead and refund you right then and there on the spot. But all students, if you don't do anything, you will be refunded. Even if you just, do the math wrong and overpay by $2 for some reason. But once we, put those waivers on, any refund that's due back, you can expect to get that in early September. If it's like September 15th or 20th and you haven't gotten a refund that you're expecting, contact the cashier's office. But we do end up refunding 100 or so students who overpay or pay in full for whatever reason. So that will happen automatically, but please feel free to request your refund, of course, because it's your money. So if you want it now, ask for it, and we'll certainly go ahead and get it back to you right away.
All right.
May I, Ivo?
Yes.
May I jump in real quick? Thank you. Just this seems maybe somewhat unrelated, but it's related in my mind. So typically we try to have everyone registered and set up by, right before the semester starts, which is the 24th. I did want to let students know so that they don't freak out. They have all of next week to add drop classes as well with the situation that we're in. So, we're Tuesday of the last Tuesday before the semester starts. And so I just want to put that out there that we have a little bit more wiggle room than we would ordinarily.
Alex, though, that's different if they are duly enrolled, right? Because HCPS doesn't start till after Labor Day. So my understanding is the truly duly enrolled classes, not just students enrolling to take a class at HCC on their own. They would have some extra time after Labor Day then, right? So
Yeah.
to add drop, okay.
Correct.
Yes, so any class that's happening at HCPS, since it's reserved for them, just contact admissions, we'll figure it out and work together. But any student I shouldn't even say any student because some students do both types of classes, but any class that is not a class that's happening at HCPS you have up through next week to figure out and finalize.
Okay.
Awesome. Let's see here. A couple of these have been answered already. How do you access your username and password for Blackboard? And is it the same as OwlNet?
Good question.
It should be sent to them, right, when they're accepted into HCC?
Yeah,
Correct.
so I can jump in on this one. Yes, so when you're accessing OwlNet, OwlMail, by the way, is the name for the email account, or Blackboard, the username and password is the same as your current OwlNet username and password. If you're originally supposed to receive your username and instructions on how to set up your portal in your acceptance email, but if you have not received that, please email admissions with the request for your username and instructions, and make sure you include your full legal name and date of birth. And that way, right when we respond, we can respond with all the information in the first email.
Excellent. Bear with me, guys. I'm checking out more questions. Most of these have been answered. Oh, where can we find the FERPA online again?
So I know it's in the forms section under registration and records, and I can't remember off the top of my head exactly the navigation, but I believe it would be under student resources when you go to hartford.edu, student resources, then registration records, then forms. And then again, you can certainly email admission and we'll send you a blank form to fill out.
All right, I do have one more poll though, while we're waiting for a couple more questions. Last one, I promise. But I want to know, would you be interested in a monthly online discussion similar to this one, offering an opportunity for you to ask questions and offer feedback? during your semester, your dual enrolled semester? I want to know, and I'm launching it now. Giving it a couple seconds. All right, so it looks like 40% say yes, 46% say perhaps, and 14% say no.
Wow, okay.
Cool.
Great. It sounds like everybody wants to stay connected with.
Mhm.
So that's really good.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold on. I'm closing that. All right. You have one more question here. When will my teachers announce class meetings and times? They are currently listed as TBD.
It should be included when you register for classes. As instructors, we were required to say whether we were meeting on particular days and at particular times. If there's nothing listed, my guess is you're not meeting unless it's an optional class meeting. Right, Cindy? Was that your understanding?
Yeah, I would say the same thing, but I would definitely, again, check the syllabus. It's going to be on that,
Yeah.
it's laid out in there also. But typically, from what I've seen, it's been stated ahead of time on the class schedule that's listed in HCC website.
Mm-hmm.
Can I qualify for financial aid as a dual enrolled student?
Yes. There's a presidential grant, correct?
That is
Yes,
correct.
that they can qualify for. So it's not really financial aid, right? It's not, but it's something that we do as a college to help dually enrolled students. Anybody? And was that correct?
Mhm. Yeah, and they would still have to work with financial aid to
Right, right.
process that, yeah.
They just
I'd
wouldn't
also,
qualify for loans, right?
what?
Pell Grants, loans, students who are still in high school do not qualify for those yet.
That is
That is
correct.
correct, yes. And also, somewhat unrelated, but related, I want to throw a shout out. We have in admissions a live chat, and so does financial aid, in fact, and advising, but especially as we're approaching the beginning of the semester and a lot of pressure to get everything finished all at once. I want to highly recommend going to harvard.edu/admissions. And then on the bottom right-hand side, there's an orange chat circle that you can click into, and you put your name and then optionally your date of birth and then a question. We've been working very hard to get as many of our members that we can in our team to be covering that so that we can answer as many students as possible. For whatever reason, it seems like it's quiet, and then suddenly we have 15 students all at once. So we've been trying to increase the coverage, and that's been a really successful way to quickly get clarification, get answers, figure out where you're at in the process. And that way, once, if we're like, okay, send admissions at harvard.edu an email with this, this, and this, you know that you're taking care of what needs to be taken care of. It's not kind of hoping that you're doing the right thing. So highly recommend that live chat. And for future reference, advising has a live chat in ALNet as well, and financial aid on their homepage has a live chat. So highly recommend that for a quick answer. And we can also, if you'd like, let us know. We can actually email the transcript to you. So as you probably figured out by just me talking, there are a lot of nuanced pieces of information, a lot of processes and steps and this, but that, and ifs. So if you'd like us to then send you the transcript of our chat, we can do that. It's worked very well.
All right, we have a couple more, and then we're gonna call it quits. Great questions coming in. Thank you, guys. So I have a question here. My kids will be taking History 103 and English 101, and the course scheduled has assignments starting before high school starts. Should my children start their work next Monday?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think we're all nodding yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, they need to start when the class starts.
Yeah, it feels kind of strange to do that, but yeah, you do. Absolutely. Start when the college starts.
Well, my guess is that they enroll by themselves and not with a particular group from maybe their high school. So they are starting before Labor Day. Is that what's happening?
I would think so.
Yeah. Because I know most often if we have a whole class of students, we have a designated section and, and then we go follow HCPS schedule. But if it's just a couple students, then they don't do that.
Yeah, there are students taking like psychology and sociology and all kinds of 15-week courses. So yeah, the college does start on Monday. So
Yeah.
it's time to
And
jump in.
Get a jump start.
And along those lines, to clarify, the fall semester and the spring semester are each 15-week semesters for a standard class. And we do have a lot of students who are still in high school that are taking, like someone mentioned, Psychology 101, or even Business 101 and English 101 that's not a part of HCPS. That does happen. And so, yeah, if your class is a standard 15-week class, it does start on August 24th, and I think it goes till December 12th is in my head.
That's about right.
And with that being said, usually the Thanksgiving fall breaks do not align with HCPS, so you still have to attend HCC classes when HCC is open online. Similarly, the registration for the spring semester will open up in the beginning of November, and you will still have a new student advising hold on your account, so you will need to check in with admissions so that we can approve your schedule, move the hold, and then you can get registered. So just letting you know.
Awesome. I think we have time for one more question. That question is, can we clarify if courses are weighted or not for HCPS?
Deanna, you said they're not weighted, correct?
They are not weighted. Nope.
Okay.
I mean, the great thing is when you guys think about it, a lot of times people take the AP classes because they want that weight. But then one thing that you need to realize is you're not receiving that automatic credit because you may not score that 3, 4, or 5 on your AP exam. So this is like a guaranteed way to get those 3 credits. So try to think of it that way. A lot of times we get so focused on GPA that we lose sight of our actual like career path. To make the question basically, I'm trying to say it's not weighted. I'm sorry. It's been a little bit of a long day.
Can I say one more thing, Evo, about that? Okay, just so everyone is aware, if you're taking AP classes, if you do some of the other options you have that maybe colleges accept or may not accept, you're taking that risk because some colleges, maybe they'll accept AP, but maybe only if you get a score of 4 or 5. By taking these classes at HCC, you do get college credit. They will transfer. They may not transfer, like if you take Introduction to Business, the school you go to might not have Introduction to Business, but they'll give you 3 credits for an elective class. You get those credits. So you're not wasting your time if you get a C or better. So I will put that in there. If you get a C or better.
Yeah. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we go, I would like to invite Kelly Otis back to the screen to kind of sum all this up and say goodbye. Kelly?
Say goodbye to everybody. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending our event today. As I said, it was a full house. We had about 250 people in here, so I know it was buzzing, and we had a lot of questions that I've been trying to answer as much as possible as the event went on. If your question wasn't answered or you think of questions after the event, please reach out to us. Either you can reach out to your high school, you can reach out to your school counselors. They might have some information, or if it's HCC specific, you can reach out to the admissions office. There's a few ways you can do this. We do have an email, which is admissions@hartford.edu. But as Alex mentioned earlier, we do have a live chat option, which is phenomenal. And you can get instant answers. And that can be found at hartford.edu/admissions. We actually have extended hours this week. So we are open until 7 o'clock at night, except for Friday. We are open only until 4:30. We will have Saturday hours this week. So if you're around on Saturday and you want to send us a chat, we are open from 10 to 2. And then next week, our hours will be 8:30 to 7 again at night, Monday through Thursday. So We are available. Please feel free to reach out to us. I know in this type of an environment right now with both HCPS and HCC in online learning environments, it's a little different. It can get a little confusing, but please know that we are here to help. So please feel free to reach out to us with any questions that you have. We really appreciate you taking the time with us today. And again, you know, anything that you need, please let us know.
Right. So that concludes it. Thank you guys so much. Bye.
Thank you. And this will be recorded, just so
Bye.
you know, so it'll be accessed later.
I'm sorry.
I was just saying that this is recorded, so we will be posting this soon. Alrighty. Have a great night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Here.